right, welcome to Boston Sports Nuts, or should I say, welcome back.
Yes, welcome
I'm Jim
back.
Russo, alongside Paul Izzo. Paul?
Hey, great to
welcome
be here,
back.
Jim.
And Ken Berman. Ken, welcome back.
Always fun to get back together, do a little Boston Sports Nuts, guys, huh?
Let's go.
Yep, we've been off the air a little while Westwood Public Access relocated their studios, but we're back. Before we get into sports, though, Ken, I got to ask you, you're our ratings expert. You monitor how many people view the show. What do you think the impact of the layoff is?
Actually, not bad. Most people said, just let us know when you're coming back. Email after email. We're with you. Get the new studio, and we'll be right back in. No drop off.
That's good to hear. And
Yeah.
you'll monitor this going forward
Closely.
as you did before.
Yeah, closely.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So with that, let's get on to sports, and let's start with Paul. Paul, you have gone to every Patriots home game.
Since
you,
1937.
yeah, you have gone to a road game
Yes,
in Tennessee this year. So you have been at the majority of their games. So let's, we haven't been able to go game by game. So why don't you give some general overviews and takes your impression of this surprising 7-2 start?
Well, I'm going to start off big picture. I think the emergence of Drake May as a top-tier quarterback is the biggest story in the National Football League right now. Elite quarterbacks don't come along every year. There have been drafts where a starting quarterback barely comes out of that draft. To have a guy this good, in almost every objective measurement, Drake May is an elite quarterback. He has an absurdly high number of completion percentage. He is an excellent elusive quarterback. He makes mistakes, but they really haven't, for the most part, killed the team. He is an excellent person. He says all the right things. He doesn't appear to have any bad attitudes or anything like that. I just think that, I think the local fans have caught on to what a big deal he is, but I think he's elite, and I think the rest of the national media are figuring this out now. It's a big story, and I think Patriots fans are kind of stunned by it at this point. It's really... He's that good, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, he's been great. I believe I just heard yesterday on some sports show that first guy under the age of 24 to have like over 100 passing rating, like 8 games in a row or something like that.
Yeah.
Some record he just broke that. I mean,
well, Ken, there's like 30 of those.
Right, yeah.
His completion percentage on balls over 20 yards is above 75%.
That's amazing.
He's very accurate. He knows where to throw the ball. Doesn't make that many mistakes. Good teammate. I think the Patriots fell into something very special here. And I think as fans, I'm really, really excited about it. I do want to mention that the Red Sox have a similar talent in Roman Anthony. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see him perform in the postseason, but I do think we're going to get to see Drake May perform in the postseason.
Yeah, I think Drake May's the story, and the biggest thing for me is the accuracy. He brings a widely varied skill set to the position, but it just doesn't seem to matter how long the pass is, whether it's 30 yards or 10 yards. He's just incredibly accurate, and I've gone from the last whatever years hoping a pass would be completed to now. Every time he throws the ball, I expect it to be completed.
Yeah.
Now, of course, he can't do that, but it's like there's hope every time he throws. And it's, I think the national media is starting to catch on. You send us some texts with stuff about him and his stats that you mentioned. They're extraordinary. And, big game this week at Tampa. And
Can I jump in with some other Patriots stuff?
Yeah, go ahead.
The other thing that I think is a big local story for the Patriots is the transformation of the coaching staff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're going from guys that were like lacrosse coaches,
Mm-hmm.
and
Community
colleges coaching the backfields, and to Vrabel and McDaniels and everybody else. He put together a quality coaching staff again, and it seems to have made quite a big difference. I mean, even Belichick's last couple of years, it was a joke of a staff. And unfortunately, last year, Gerard Mayo just wasn't ready for the job. So this year, to me, when you watch how they play and how much better it looks, even though, they come up with some stupid penalties, I get it. But I haven't watched a football game yet of other teams where they don't do that too.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
offsides or false starts or all that stuff. But
I think the transformation from Mayo to Vrabel, to state the obvious, has been huge. As you said, Mayo just, I guess, wasn't ready. And Vrabel, to me, is so refreshing, especially in the NFL, in that he doesn't treat it like it's the end of the world or, an actual war or an actual crisis. It's football. Ultimately, it's a game. Of course, you want to win. But one of the things I like about him is that he celebrates victories. I mean, there's time for that. He says it. You watch these post-game things, and he's like, celebrate for a couple hours. I know we got to get back to it, but enjoy this. And
it's hard to win.
Yeah, it's hard to win in
yeah.
any sports league, and that one's no exception. So I think it's great that the Patriots are having fun while they're winning, and it's not just,
And the other thing is, obviously May is what's raised him up, but I think he's doing a great job because I don't think they're the most talented team in the National Football League, right? They still have they could use a lot more talent on the team and more depth, but I mean, Vrabel's doing such a great job with what he has.
Yeah. One thing that's talked about a lot locally is the so-called easy schedule they have. And it has been relative to the opponent's records and how the opponents have performed. It has been a, quote, easy schedule. But they're winning the games. I mean, and teams don't always win easy games. I looked at this the other day, and I haven't seen anybody else check this. I think they've had a chance to win every single game they've played with under 5 minutes to play. And I don't think any other team in the NFL can say that. They've literally been either winning or close to winning every game they've played. And I don't know what else you can ask of them.
Yeah, I think two things can be true. Let's face it, this is the easiest schedule that they've had, I think, since I've started following the team. It is unbelievable, the records of the teams they're playing. Having said that, I agree with Ken. They're not the most talented team in the league, and they're winning all of these games. Mm-hmm. So I think two things can be true. Sure, it's an easy schedule, but there's no guarantee that they're going to win all these games. They're not, the 2007 Tom Brady Patriots where they're going to go out and score 35 to 40 points against teams of this level. They're just a little bit above level the teams they're playing, and they're winning most of the games. So give them credit for that.
Yeah, and if you read the comments, the upcoming game against Tampa Bay does appear to be different.
It's a test.
It's a test. They're on. The Patriots are on the road. They've been successful. They're 4-0 on the road, but Tampa Bay is a tougher test than most of the teams they've faced, Buffalo being the exception. And they're going to, have to play against pretty good defense down there. Heat could be a factor. So there'll be a few things going against them. I like their chances in this game because I think Tampa Bay is a little overrated in the mind of the public. But, yeah, it's going to be a really good test for them. And I think even if they lose, if they're very competitive in this game, and I think this game is the Jim Nantz, Tony Romo game this weekend.
It is, yeah.
Yep.
So
it's a 1 o'clock game, but
a lot of people are going to see them.
Yeah.
I still see national media panels where they don't really know Drake May. They're saying,
Right.
Somebody will say, for example, Drake May needs to be in the MVP conversation, and someone else will roll their eyes. I mean, just pull the numbers up. I mean, he's really been, if not the most valuable offensive player in the league, in the top 3 at least.
I think he's in the top 3.
Yeah.
Sam Donald's having a great year.
Yep.
Stafford's having a great year.
Yep, Stafford's. I look at this Tampa Bay game. It's one test of 17. And it's a game against a better team. So we'll see where they are. But what? If they get blown out 42-0, it's over? No. So, I mean, everybody's building this game up because this team has a winning record. But it's not over because I got news for everybody. They got a game
Thursday night against the Jets.
Thursday against the Jets. And guess what the score is when the kickoff happens, it's 0-0. So they will be 7-3 if they lose. It'll be a coach's job to have them bounce back. So the game, I'm really looking forward to the game because they are an over 500 team. Baker Mayfield is having a great year. But, I mean, I also look at the Patriots. I don't know if Gonzalez is playing. I don't know if Boute's playing. So
Stevenson might not play.
It's who?
Stevenson.
Stevenson might not play. So they'll be losing some key pieces that they might get back. And as I always say in the playoffs, tell me who's playing. So that applies to week 10 too.
How many wins they need to make the playoffs, Paul? 10?
Well, I think you'd like it to be 10, 11-6. Because you don't want to be at the bottom of the pile of the wild card teams. I'd like to see them.
Are you predicting that? That's their final record?
No. Because I predicted that they would win less than 9 games.
Yeah.
So my predictions are useless on that.
Now, I would say about the wild cards, though, guys, this year, there is something going on right now that is going to disrupt the playoffs in a way we haven't seen since Bill Belichick avoided the Ben Roethlisberger Pittsburgh Steelers in 2005 when they lost the Jacksonville game because they didn't want to play the 6-seeded Steelers because Roethlisberger had missed most of the season. They went on to win the Super Bowl that year, Pittsburgh. So Belichick knew what he was doing. Kansas City right now is out of the playoffs. Tell me honestly, who you want to avoid in the first round, and I'm saying Buffalo and Kansas City. Buffalo, by the way, right now is the 5th seed. This is going to disrupt all seedings except the bye.
What's going to disrupt?
The fact that Kansas City, A, may not win their division, and B, even if they do, may be in the wild card round.
Yeah.
They have 4 losses.
Yeah.
If they're in the wild card round, everything's off the table to me, except for the bye.
Okay.
If you're first.
Well, Kansas City's fall from grace, not among the elite record-wise, I think is a big story in the league. But every time I watch them, I still think that's a dangerous team.
Oh, very.
Because they have Pat Mahomes. You could look at that team as a casualty of the salary cap. They don't have the strength at the skill position players that they've had in the past.
Right.
People have figured out how to contain Mahomes a little bit. The defense isn't quite as elite. It's hard to win every year. People forget Brady had a 10-year gap where he didn't win a championship. So, Kansas City may be going into that gap.
Maybe. I still think he's the best quarterback
I
out
do
there.
too. And Allen. I mean, that game the other night.
And I'll take him over Allen if I had one game to win something.
Those are the two guys. And again, right now, I expect Buffalo, frankly, to win the Eastern Division. So this will change a little bit. But those two guys are in the wild card round right now.
Yeah. If we could just get back to the Patriots before we move on.
Yep.
There's one more thing I wanted to say about them, which is the trade deadline came and went, and there's been a lot of talk, both nationally and locally, that this was an above-average trade deadline in terms of activity. You had some major trades between the Colts and the Jets, and we saw Jacoby Myers move to a new team, and a bunch of things happened. But the Patriots didn't do anything. You guys have any take on that before we move off the Patriots?
It didn't bother me as much as it bothered some people I heard around town and things like that. I don't know. I'm not really concerned about that. If they had got someone, I would have been okay, but I didn't think they were going to be able to get some blockbuster player or anything like that. So
I'm always skeptical of trade deadline analysis because show me the deal. How do I say the Pats should have got a superstar wide receiver if that wide receiver would have cost 2 number ones? I'm not doing that. I don't know what was on the table. So, this team has made a lot of good decisions this year. Frankly, I know this isn't what you're supposed to do on a show or a pod. I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt based on what they've done this year.
Well, I'm going to take a slight detour from those two positions. White, I didn't have a problem. The defensive lineman, he moved on. Duggar surprised me a little bit because
I'll agree with that.
They're kind of thin back there.
Yeah.
They didn't really get a lot for Kyle Duggar. They only got a pick swap at the end of the draft. That one surprised me a little bit. And I also was a little bit surprised that they didn't at least bring in, for a 6th or 7th round pick, a running back, because they are they're really thin there.
Yeah.
Now, they do have guys on the practice squad. Don't ask me to name them. Nameless, faceless, generic running backs. And I know that around here in Boston, the media will tell people running backs are fungible,
I
generic.
agree with that.
Yeah, right. Just replaceable because none of them are more talented than the others.
Right. That annoyed me a little bit. But in general, deadline deals, and even in baseball, if you look back at these, the Red Sox didn't do anything at the deadline. Other teams, another team went out and signed Walker Buehler. He pitched a couple of good games, and that was it.
Right.
Deadline deals, especially for a rebuilding team, are risky because they want those draft picks.
Yeah, I think you bring up a good point with Duggar because I took your question to mean the trades they didn't make, as opposed to Duggar. I get the feeling we don't know something because I agree with you. A team that Christian Gonzalez has been hurt in the secondary, a 7th round pick in a year you're contending for a guy that's played well in the past.
That was a weird one.
It's the Butch Cassidy Sundance Kid line. You ever get the feeling there's something going on we don't know about? Because I agree
had the
with
same
that.
reaction.
That was strange to me.
Yeah,
that was strange.
There was something
to me.
between Vrabel and him that wasn't jiving.
Yeah, I guess so. And the Pats, bottom line, they're fun again. I look forward to Sundays. The only downside to this is, we're probably going to get some flex games at the end of the year. And I have really enjoyed
the 1 o'clock
the
show.
Bill Parcells thing, 1 o'clock show, because it's just perfect time for football and, probably a good time to go to the games too. But I think we're going to get flexed. There's a game against the Ravens that's scheduled for 1. And now that Jackson's back, that's a prime candidate to me that's going to get flexed. But, but we'll take it. I'd rather win.
I want to end on this note. Every year, and I know I've said it on Sports Nuts, maybe not the Westwood edition, but every year there's a National Football League team that comes out of nowhere and is a lot better than people thought it was, and it is legit better. Last year it was Washington. Now, some people would say it was an illusion. Look what's happening this year. Well, they've been battered and beaten by injuries this year. Right. Jaden Daniels has barely played. The Patriots might be that team. They might be a team that has a young, possibly elite quarterback, good enough skill position players, a partially rebuilt and pretty decent offensive line now, and a defense that holds every rusher to under 50 yards. At a pace that's an NFL record. And that's a big deal because it forces the other team to be one-dimensional, and that's played to their advantage in some of these games. So maybe the Patriots are that surprise team that could make a run. We don't know. We'll see.
Dare we talk about, and I guess this week is a week you can really look at to determine this, the Patriots being in the running for the bye. Now, I'm on buys, I'm totally with Bobby Knight, who once, lost after a bye and said something like, a bye is a win. You get to move on. Of course I want a bye. Right. You could possibly lose. I don't think he said that, but you know what I mean. But he said, a bye is a win. I mean, right now, we're 9 games in, which is, I know you don't like the 17, but it's over half the season, right? And they got 2 losses.
Get me started on 17
Denver's number
games.
1 now. The Colts are number 2, and the Colts are another team, by the way, that nobody expected to do as well as they did.
Right.
And, boy, if they can win this game, that's 10 games with 7 to play. We're going to have some fun trying to get a bye.
Yeah, and they have 3 division games left where they'll be favored. 2 games against the Jets and 1 game against Miami.
Right.
Okay.
That's right. They have not played the
Jets. If one assumes they win those games, and I hate that game.
No.
That's a win, that's a loss.
Yeah,
but let's
it never
assume.
comes out
Especially
that way.
for a team like this.
Assume for argument's sake. That gets them to 10-2 with 5 other games. And if they go 3-2 in those games, they're 13-4. And that's a shot. That's a good shot at being the number 1 bye this year because no one's seemingly running away winning every single week.
And I had trouble deciding who I should root for in that Buffalo-Kansas City game because probably would have been better if Kansas City won. So
I was all in on
and
Kansas.
I don't usually root for the
right.
current edition of the Chiefs. I used to root for the old, but not this edition. So it would have been better if they won that game. The other team is the Steelers, who now they're at 4 losses, I think. So that's good because the Pats won't get a tie with them. And Buffalo, if Buffalo beats the Pats, and then you go into next tiebreakers, and hopefully the Pats finish 5-1 in the division, that's definitely possible.
Yeah, and last night's game was
5-1.
big. The Thursday night game, which
That was big.
not a lot of people were focused on from the Patriots' perspective.
We wanted the Raiders.
Wanted Denver to get a loss.
Right.
Yeah.
And Denver's competing with Patriots for seeding in the
Patriots.
AFC.
Denver moved into number 1 last night.
Right.
Wow.
And that game was so winnable
Unexpected.
for the Raiders. Oh, my goodness, at the end.
Yeah.
It almost felt like a tank job. I mean, they had the ball inside the 50-yard line with under 5 minutes.
Did they?
They ran the ball 5 straight times. They missed a 48-yard field goal to tie the game. It was painful watching it.
I
Yeah, and let's
sound asleep.
another reason just to get Denver to 3 losses is the Patriots lose a tie with Denver based on conference schedules.
Yeah.
The Patriots have lost 2 conference games. The Raiders and the other one. Steelers, thank you.
No, so that was a big was a big
so
game.
that was a big one. And the Colts also get a tie with the Patriots. So we need to start rooting against the Colts and the Broncos. Rooting against the Broncos historically is very difficult. My friends and I call them the Denver Horseshoe because a friend of mine, a former member of this show, by the way, named them that years and years ago because they just seem to get every break. But anyway, let's move on.
Wait a minute. One thing.
All right.
Paul, if they end up 13-4, it'll be really fun watching you eat your hat. That's all I can say.
I had them, 6-11 or some god awful.
Yeah.
Right, all of us.
Yeah,
We'll all
I
eat our
had them-
Patriots caps.
I had them 13-4, but no, I did not. I did not have them 13-4.
All right.
So, all right, let's move on. Ken Berman, our beloved Boston Celtics, are in a situation that we hadn't really thought about a couple of years ago. Everybody knows the story. Jason Tatum maybe out for the season with the torn Achilles, certainly not playing now. Luke Cornett gone, Kristaps Porzingis gone, Drew Holiday gone, Al Horford gone. They're 4-5. Again, we've missed individual games. So try to give us your take on the 9 games so far this season.
What you just said, the guys that are not here from last year, Porzingis, Holiday, Cornett, Horford, Tatum. I mean, it's your starting 5 except for Brown. You know what I mean? So that's the biggest difference, obviously. It's going to take some time to put this unit together. They got some, Jaylen Brown is stepping up big time. He's playing great basketball. He's trying to lead this team as best he can. They might have got blown out the other night against the Wizards if he didn't score 16 points in the first quarter. They were down 11, and he scored 16 points in the first quarter.
Yeah.
That might have been another tough loss, but they came back and, ended up winning easily. We got some young players to look at. I think we all like Josh Minot. I like him a lot. He seems to have a good flair for the game, some excitement, some athleticism. Kata stepping in as the new starting center. Work in progress. Gaza, backup work in progress. And Jim, what you say all the time, when the number 1 goes down and the number 2 becomes the number 1 and the number 4 or 3 becomes the number 2 and a guy off the bench who got 6th Man of the Year award becomes the number 3, it's a whole different basketball team. And for those guys, so far right now, definitely Derek White has not stepped up like we think he should. And Pritchard has been he's been good from inside the 3-point line, let's put it that way, and not good from outside the 3-point line. So they've got a lot of work to do, I think.
Yeah.
Well, it's a very surreal and strange season.
Yeah.
I like the word surreal.
If you had said to a Celtics fan back at the end of April, next season they will have shed over $100 million in payroll and lose the players. We will not have Tatum. We will not have Cornett. We will not have Horford. We will not have Porzingis. We will not have Holiday in the lineup in the fall. You would say, what is there going to be, like a nuclear explosion? What are they going to do? What I think has happened to this team is a 3 to 5 year plan that they had put together where they were going to spend money like drunken sailors got blown up when Tatum blew out his Achilles.
Yeah.
And I think that ownership, and you have to factor in the fact that they have new ownership.
Yep.
I think ownership looked at it and said, okay, we can't win in 2026. We can't. Not with Tatum out.
Right.
He's our alpha dog. And they went down the list. And I just want to point out a few things about the players they got rid of. Let's start with Kristaps Porzingis, who, when he played, I think was the difference maker for the Celtics the last 3 years. When he played and was healthy, they were almost unstoppable.
Yeah.
I
think we agree, Jim, right?
Yes.
3-point shots, rim protector, brought joy to the court, smiley face, unbelievably good player.
Their only post-up player.
But here's the problem. I checked this. In the 2 years he was with the Celtics, he played 60% of the regular season games. Exactly. Not 61, not 59. Exactly 60% of the regular season games.
Wow.
And he played fewer than half of the postseason games. Now, you look at a guy like that and you say, wow, look what he's doing in Atlanta. He's played 8 games and he's 17 points and 9 rebounds. We could really use that. It was a reasonable guess that he wouldn't do that again for more than 60% of the games and more than half of any playoff games. So I can see them saying, you know what? Enough. If you look at Drew Holiday, 35 years old, he's having a better year now, right now, than he's had last year with the Celtics.
He was hurt last year, too.
But they had 3 or 4 years left on his deal at $35-36 million a year. Why keep him? That's just way too much money. And I know it's not my money, and why should I care as a fan? But I can understand that. Horford has done nothing. Horford's done nothing.
Really?
Nothing.
Haven't followed him.
No, he's barely played. He's averaging less than 30% from 3 and less than 30% from 2. And in a couple of the games, he's had fewer than 10 minutes played. The one that bothers me is Luke Cornett. I feel that if you were going to keep a $10 to $12 million player and stay below the second apron, I would have preferred to see Hauser move, if, to your point earlier, if that were possible, because I think they really miss Luke Cornett and could have used them. They've gone from having their fourth string center is now their starter.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah,
so last year they had KP, Cornett, Horford, and Cada for junk minutes.
Right.
That's right.
Cada is now being relied on, and you see the problems. The hands of stone on the offensive end, the fouling early in the game, all these different problems that he has. So I think that I think they would have paid those guys if they had Tatum and they thought they could make another run for the title. But a combination of things have led to this season, and I got to say, they're overperforming given their talent level. Well, I see a lot of B-level players on that team, and they're 4 and 5.
There's a lot of guys playing that would only
because I don't think it's lack of effort.
No.
Yeah, I think a couple of things about what you said. One, Cornette, to amplify the point, because we didn't say it on the air, Hauser, they would have had to trade him because he signed. So that would have freed up the money if they could trade him and probably someone else. But they could. I think they could have done it if that's what you wanted. 2, Holiday is having a better year, but let's keep in mind, I haven't looked at this, he's probably getting more shots on that team because that team is also Damian Lillard's team who's not playing.
Right.
And you're right, he is 35 years old with a lot of money. And you said like $35 million for Holiday. Remember that if the Celtics stayed over the second apron, for instance, paying Sam Hauser his $10 million is like paying him $40 million.
Yeah.
Right.
So, okay, my 3 takes on the Celtics are this. Number 1, Derek White and Peyton Pritchard. We both love those players, but all summer long after this happened, Derek White is going to step up, have an unbelievable season. Stan Van Gundy went so he's going to be all league, at which point Ian Eagle said, he's skipping the All-Star team, all league. Now, keep in mind in the NBA, all league is 15 players.
15 players.
3 teams.
He's not top 15.
Whoa. And I love Derek White, so I almost hate doing this, but he's shooting 27.2% from 3. Derek White. I mean, this is close to a 40% three-point shooter. And another stat, Derek White is averaging 14.1 points a game. We thought minimum 20 a game for Derek White without Jason Tatum. Okay? Peyton Pritchard, 15.3 points a game, 22.4% from three. Again, a guy that should be shooting close to 40%. I mean, Ken, you're right. Jaylen Brown, yeah, the turnovers, I get it, but he is having a heck of a year.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he is.
No doubt.
He kept them in that game. He's kept them in other games. He's been a good leader. I just like, as you said, Derek White has to move from, I would say 4, because I'm with you on Porzingis. He was their third best player. So Derek White has moved
from
4
fourth
to 2.
2, yeah.
Right? And Pritchard has gone from 6-man to 3. And I'm like,
It's
maybe
not that easy in the
everybody's
NBA.
like, they'll turn around, but let's see. Let's see, because Jason Tatum had an effect on everybody when they double teamed him. You know, way back in the day, Sam Jones and Casey Jones were the backup backcourt, and they ended up winning championships. Right. I'm not saying you can win a championship, this team, but we all, let's face it, expected a little more. Hopefully it turns around. They are trying hard. I don't think any of it's a lack of effort. In fact, I'd argue this team plays harder.
Absolutely, I agree.
Because they know they have. They've had 2 letdowns. One lasted a quarter. One lasted a lot of the game. But that's not that much in an NBA season in 9 games. The other team was like, hey, we can win this game. You know, they were the old Celtics.
Right.
You know, 10 minutes. Kuzi used to say, play 5 minutes of defense here, we can win. My second point is the rebounding. You cited the centers.
That's a big problem.
You've cited losing Jason Tatum's 8.6 rebounds.
Right, best defensive rebounder they had.
Right, and it is killing them. They are, you know, believe it or not, they're 9th in the league in offensive rebounds. So that's
because they're missing a lot of shots.
Yeah, that's another reason. They are 27th in defensive rebounding.
Right.
This is not sustainable.
Forget about fast break basketball.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You don't get the rebound, okay, you can't run, and they want to play faster. The pace of play in the league is still slow, and I know they're saying that's not the metric they use, but, you know. My next point is talent. This team is not as talented, and we don't even know what this team's ceiling is. And they're 4-5, and this is not an excuse, but Rick Carlisle, I think we can all agree, he's a great coach. We said it in the NBA.
Yeah,
great coach, former Celtic, one of our guys a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right now, he is missing Tyrese Halliburton with an Achilles. He's missing T.J. McConnell, who would be their 6th man of the year candidate. Right? He's their Pritchard.
Yeah.
Turner left.
Right.
Good player. Nebhart's out.
Mm-hmm.
And Toppin's out.
Yeah.
Now, that's 5 players. The 5 players we've been talking about are also 5 players. They are 1-7.
Right.
I don't care what you got, what schemes you come up with, how fast you want to play, how slow you want to play. It comes down to talent. Okay? Now, I think both coaches will still try to play fast. But, boy, you know, this talent drain is
it just shows you that we're actually doing okay at 4-5 compared to 1-7.
Yeah, I mean, it's frustrating, but I mean, I go into this season with limited expectations. Right now, they're 10th. They'd be in the play-in game.
Well, if they can hover around 500 and get Tatum back in February, and he gives them an added boost at the end, and they become one of those annoying teams that actually tries in March and April versus teams that aren't trying, they could sneak into the playoffs and probably be a tough out if Tatum's healthy.
Yeah, and they would be what I talked about with the Chiefs if they get Tatum back. I don't think they're a championship team, but they're in the East, which helps. I mean, right now, anybody expect this? First place in the East, Chicago Bulls. Billy Donovan's Providence College, Chicago Bulls are 6-1, I believe, atop the East. Hey, I follow the NBA. I would have put them fighting for a play-in spot. So I don't think they can win the East, but they could certainly win a round.
Yeah, was anybody going to beat Oklahoma?
Okay, February to me sounds a little optimistic for Tatum, right?
I don't know.
I'm thinking
I mean, I see him walking around. He's jumping. There's video of him dunking.
Yeah.
I don't know what the time frame is.
I don't
for
either.
that.
I don't either, but
I really don't know.
I think he wants to play. I think that's very clear.
I
And
keep
there's very few harder workers than Jason Tatum.
I mean, I keep coming back to my son-in-law, who's athletic, not a professional athlete, but he jogs, he plays sports, he skis. It took him a year to get back.
Yeah.
So, but he's running now and jogging and doing his thing.
And he doesn't have the Celtics training
No,
stuff.
no, he did it in his house and
Right, yeah,
YouTube and
right. Right. I mean, they're working on his Achilles every single day.
They have lasers pointing at it.
Yeah.
And before we leave the Celtics, I want to make one more point, and this is just, and maybe you guys can help me. I want to find a metric that I believe Drew Carter cited something that said that the Celtics 51 threes the other night were mostly good shots. I tried keeping it myself the other night because my thing on the three has always been quality versus quantity. If you got 30 Josh Minot shots with a hand in his face, I'm against it. But if you got Sam Hauser taking 15 when he's wide open, I'm for it. I don't know where to find that metric. And I guess I just got to look harder.
Well, there are next gen stats and sites and
I just got to find it because I'm just.
Could ask Drew Carter.
The media just says they just go by the number, and it's not the number. It's they took a game where they hardly took any, and they won the game. I watched that game closely. There were none available. The other team said you're not shooting, and the Celtics actually won the game. There are games where I've seen Payton Pritchard and Derek White shoot like they did last year, wide open, and not make them. So I guess I just got to find that metric. All right, let's get on to, we've all followed baseball since we were kids. I got to say, this World Series was up there with the 75 series, in my opinion. Obviously, I'm a little biased, but it was incredible. I think I watched all of 6 games and a few innings of a game. I couldn't watch the whole game. I was transfixed to the set. I think it was. I missed some of the first game, which was a rout. It was awesome. Paul, your impressions of the series?
No, I agree. The series was very compelling. A good matchup. You were clearly looking at probably the best team in each league, which doesn't always happen.
Right.
Doesn't always happen. There were some compelling figures in the game. Whether it was Ohtani on one team, Springer on the other team, Guerrero, Mookie Betts. You had MVPs, future Hall of Famers. You had guys at the tail end of their careers, like, you had Scherzer and you had Kershaw coming in for a big out. Should have walked the guy, but the guy swung at the ball. So you had all this drama. You had an international flair to the World Series. You had 2 countries competing. You had Japanese-born players playing a big role. Obviously, Latin American players playing a big role. So there was just so much to there before the games even started.
Right.
And then the games were so wild. I actually stayed up till 2:30 for the 15 or 18 inning game.
Give yourself more credit than that. It ended after 3.
What's that?
Give yourself more credit. It ended after 3.
Oh, no. It wasn't 2. I thought it was 2.
No.
I didn't even look at the clock.
Yeah.
I just knew that. You know what I did? I just didn't get up. So I was in the couch, and the game kept going, and it kept going. And I said, if I get into bed, I'm going to fall asleep. And I just watched it. And
I
it was
kept saying one more inning.
Yeah, it was very
That
reminiscent of the Red Sox 18-inning game,
Yeah.
also against the Dodgers,
Yeah.
which they lost, and then proceeded to win the next 2 games, which is the same thing Toronto did. But I got to say, of all the wild and wacky things that happened in that Game 7, my personal favorite was the catch in center field by the center fielder that had just been put in for his defense.
Right.
And I'm sorry, I don't care what Kiki Hernandez says. There's no way he's catching that ball.
No.
He was turned around. He was betwixt and between, and the guy leaps over him and catches it. The other thing that would have been wild that didn't happen. Imagine that the runner is called safe at home.
On the ground ball to second.
Safe.
And then
The crowd thinks they won the World Series. The players storm the field. The confetti falls from the roof, and they replay it, and he was out. That would have been fascinating.
Yeah.
But no, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I've said it a million times. I think the most exciting professional sport to me is postseason baseball.
Well, because every pitch
and it showed it once again.
every pitch is bile bubbling, as we say all the
Yeah.
time. So the 18. Let me just go to the 18-inning game because I fell asleep. I went into bed and turned it on.
Mistake.
I fell asleep about 10 o'clock with the TV on. Right, woke up at 2:30, looked up, and the game was still on. And I go, "What? Am I watching highlight? What is going?" I put my glasses on, and they're like in the 16th inning. I go, "You got to be kidding me!" So then I watched the rest of it, but
well, you actually didn't miss much.
well, those are 10
Yeah.
innings that no one scored a run.
Well, between like the
After-
11th and 17th
Yeah,
inning was kind of dead.
There was,
But they went 10 full innings without a run being scored
Yeah.
in that game.
yeah.
So it was a remarkable game. Hey, for some reason, I found myself pulling for Toronto. I
Me
don't
too.
even-
Oh,
Yeah.
most people.
yeah,
were.
I mean, they were a fun team to watch, and Guerrero's, boy, he's as good as they come, huh?
What a tremendous postseason.
And Springer coming back was great, and listen, in that was it in the 18 inning game or the 11 or the one they lost in? I would have squeezed when the bases were loaded. That's my opinion as a manager.
Wow.
With the force play?
Yeah, I
Oh
had
my
the same
God.
problem with that
No,
idea.
No. I couldn't do that.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's what I mean. No one would do it. I would have squeezed there.
Yeah. Well, you guys have summed this up pretty good, so I'd just like to focus on Game 7 then. It just reminded me of Game 6 in 75 because there were so many
Yeah.
just turning plays that shifted everything. The irony of the catch to me is he was put in the game for his throwing arm. They were going to have to make a play at the plate. And he throws better than Edmund. Now, he's also better. Edmund has a bum ankle, former YD player.
Mm-hmm.
He wouldn't have been there. I don't think he would have got to the ball. So now we're left with the scenario you said. Kiki Hernandez trying to do his best Willie Mays impression.
Yeah, I didn't think he was catching that.
Okay. Maybe, but I'm kind of with you. I don't
Yeah.
think it happens. So just phenomenal. And Dave Roberts just, hey, genius.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah, he
Really,
got
but-
genius status.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next thing is Rojas.
Is he the Bucky Dent?
Oh, he is definitely BF Dent
Yeah.
in Toronto history now.
Yep.
This guy, he was put in because, ironically, the center fielder who came in for Edmund couldn't buy a hit. And Dave Roberts finally said after 5 games, I know Edmund's got a bum ankle, but I'm not playing Paez anymore. Tommy center field, Rojas second base, you're a veteran. I've always liked you. And
It's a home
he
run.
comes in with a home run. And as Mad Dog Russo said, and Smoltz said at the time, 3-2, Smoltz said, all right, you got Antani on deck with only 1 out. Can't walk this guy. Classic can't walk the 9th hitter thing. You got to throw a fastball, right? He's not a home run hitter. What do? They throw a slider. He hangs it. He hits it out of the park.
Yeah.
And and then he gets Otani out, I think, on 1 pitch.
Yeah.
So, and then the play. You can analyze that play at the plate from so many angles.
Yeah.
Number one, for those of us that just love this game, number one, his lead. Now, he caught
We're
a lot.
talking about the runner at
Yeah,
third
the runner
base.
at third. He caught a lot of flack for that. But his coach told him not to get a big lead because he was afraid of the line drive. Now, you had
A line drive, which would result in a double
Double
play.
play.
play to the
yeah.
third baseman. Now, you had
Yeah.
a lefty hitter up, so he was afraid of that. Number two.
Can I respond to that one?
Yeah.
He had not hit a line drive to third the entire season.
Right. Now, number
So
two.
that might have been a judgment error.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, I agree. I'm just saying all the ways you can analyze it. Number two, the lead itself, as someone pointed out, and I did not like coaching third when I was managing, but I had to do it sometimes. There was nobody else there.
Yeah. We all did.
You've got to be going toward home when the pitch is throwing, and then you race back. You have to assume a throw back on every play.
Even if it's just being a little light on your feet.
Exactly.
You cannot
So
be
he got-
flat-footed.
which he
Right.
did not do. He was
Right.
flat-footed.
Yep.
Number 3, as the fourth member of our chat group, Izzo, Sam Izzo pointed out, correctly I might add, you can run through the plate on that play. It is a force play. So we've been through this with players you coached. I don't know if you coach baseball, but
Oh, yeah.
everybody wants to slide into first. Guys, run through the bag. You go faster. It's the same thing at the plate. You don't slide, so they have to bring the ball down to tag you. They're not going to tag you on this play. he could have run through the bag. So there are a couple of errors there. And then a phenomenal play by Rojas, who had hit the home run, who wasn't playing in the first 5 games at second base. That was not an easy play.
No, not at all.
Tough play.
No, it was to his right, and he bobbled it a little.
Yep.
And he righted himself, and he didn't exactly fire at home. He wanted to make a good throw, and it actually wasn't a great throw. The catcher had to leap a little bit, took his foot off the plate.
Now, let me ask you this.
Inches away from winning a World Series.
Let me ask
Never
you,
seen anything like it.
if they had called him safe, if the umpire had called him safe on that play, do you think it would have got overturned? I think they would have left it safe.
Well, the problem here's the
Because
problem.
when I watched the replay a number of times, I can't tell.
Well, I think he looked out from above. The thing you don't know is whether when you see the catcher's left foot coming down from above, it looks like it's on the plate. The ump could have said in his microphone, I had him above the plate. He was over the plate, but not on the plate.
He could have.
And that's the problem. So I think if it had been called safe and they had not overturned it, Dodgers fans would have lost their you-know-what.
Yeah.
Because I think his foot was not. The catcher's foot was over the plate before the runner's foot was on the plate. That's what I saw.
Yeah.
Now, was the foot on the plate?
Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know.
There's a couple of other things I want to.
Maybe they need to put electronic devices on the plate.
It could happen. A couple other decisions. I think, number one, I think Roberts took Ohtani out too late. You could see from the first 2 innings he didn't have
You
it.
did say that, though.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did.
Time.
For whatever reason, he didn't have it. He left 5 runners on base. Now, I get it. You're trying to get as much as you can out of him. But you also had Glasnow who could pitch. To me, he could have gone 4 to 5 innings. 3 pitches the night before for a starter. So
Right.
I would have lifted him just because, all right, I got my 2 innings. I had to start him because if I don't and I bring him in and the game doesn't end, I either got to leave him in or I lose his bat, which I don't want to do. So I got it. I got 3 other starters here that I'm going to pitch today. So now he didn't know he'd get almost 3 innings out of Yamamoto, but okay, so that's one. The other one, though, I think you and I thought the same thing in the 18th inning game, that Schneider, who, by the way, both these managers did a great job in the series. We're just nitpicking because I speak for I'm a baseball guy and it's fun, but these guys were fantastic in my opinion, both of them. But he left himself too thin in the lineup. Bichette and Kirk. I mean, I just, in the 18th inning game, I'm like, I don't know how they score. They're
Right.
gonna. I would pitch around.
So
Guerrero.
you're referring to the fact that in the regular part of the game, they took them those guys out for pinch runners.
Right.
Right.
And Alex Cora was on Mad Dog the next day, and he said with Bichette, we usually wait in a situation until they get to second base, which I think was a fair point. But it just, he had no lineup. I'm like, they can't win this game. They're not going to score. And having wanted them to win. Now, in Game 7, a fact that has not been brought up, Bichette's running cost them a run in the first 2 innings. There was a ball to right field that I think anyone with average speed would have gone. And he had to held at third. And they focused, good camera work. They focused on his face, and he was so dismayed because he knew if he was healthy, he would have gone. So given that, when he was the winning run, I can't blame Schneider as much as I did in game when he wasn't even the tying run and they pitched. It was 4-2 when they pinch ran for him.
I'm not a pinch run guy because I think
I'm not either.
Here's the problem. You're assuming, one is assuming a bunch of things. And I think my assumptions are more likely. So, for example, one is assuming that the play is going to be close and that difference between the fast runner and the slow runner is the difference between winning and losing. I say that's a rare occurrence where that really matters.
It happened in that game.
Right. But what's more likely to happen is the game continues and you go, damn, I've lost that bat.
Right.
Like I remember David Ortiz rarely got taken out for pinch runners.
Oh, when he did, I was furious.
Right. Rarely.
Yeah.
When they did it, we'd be like, what are you doing?
Yeah, you can't
Now,
take him out.
Just me, I would have done what Cora would have done. I would have waited till he got to second. I wouldn't have pinch run for Bichette. But when he became the winning run on second base with less than 2 outs, boy, after living through that second inning or first inning when he just could not run, I really can't blame Schneider because normally I'm with you. When
Yeah,
the
you
Red
can't
Sox
pitch run for guys
Ortiz,
like-
I'd be
yeah.
like, what are they doing?
Yeah.
So, but again, that's what makes baseball great. We
Right.
can have this
Okay,
debate.
Go ahead.
The other thing about baseball, and I said this either to both of you or Paul and I, we were talking. I said, baseball is the sport that's been going on for 100-something years, but something happens in a game that never happened before. It's like the one
Amazing.
sport where they go, that's never happened in the 125-year history of the World Series.
Yep.
It's just an amazing, to get back to what you said about playoff baseball. It's
amazing.
It is amazing how many weird things happen in each game.
And let's bring up a point that Dan Shaughnessy made in the Globe today, which I hadn't thought of, but watching all the games as close as I did, the emergence of the splitter, as Shaughnessy said, with apologies to Yamamoto, Ohtani, and a couple guys on Kevin Gossman, this pitch could kill baseball. When you throw it properly, you can't hit it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'd go that far, but when I thought about what he wrote, I said, yeah, the emergence of that pitch. I mean, we're old enough to remember when it started with Bruce Sutter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was
How effective
unusual.
that was.
yeah.
But boy, you would see, and then I got to admit, the camera angles were pretty good because you'd go behind the plate and you could see they're cocking, they're starting to, it's a strike. I mean,
It looks like a strike, yeah.
And then,
Yeah, there's two pitches that have gotten very hard to hit. One is the splitter, and the other is they're all learning how to throw the rising fastball,
Right.
which is actually not rising.
yeah,
It's a ball that, because of its spin, does not drop.
Right.
And batters, a lot of people don't realize this, batters calculate gravity. So if the ball's coming in at this height, they swing here, below it, assuming that it's going to come down. These balls defy that, and
I
you
think
end
the other
up swinging over.
The other thing is everybody throws 100 miles an hour now. Like, how are you supposed to hit the ball?
it's amazing how they've adjusted to the speed
Yeah, it
and
is
how
amazing.
guys that throw 100 now still throw other pitchers. I mean,
Yeah.
pitches. When guys started to do this, the relievers would come in and throw 10 fastballs.
Right.
Now, like, you got that guy for the Dodgers. I forgot his name. He comes in, he's throwing 100. No, Toronto. He's throwing 100. I think there was a guy in the Dodgers. They're throwing sliders and
No,
everything.
Chapman
Chapman
throws all sorts
too,
of things.
yeah.
Because he's afraid they're just going to tee you off on that. So, great series.
Yeah, a
Uh,
lot
I
of
have one
fun.
negative.
one
Okay,
negative.
I think the one thing I missed, the big time starter versus the big time starter going deep into the game, something to really get excited about.
Yeah.
You know, when it was Clemens versus Gooden or Schmaltz versus, whoever, a Jack Morris,
Right.
those kind of matchups. I still miss that. Like, as compelling as the baseball was, I do think baseball should try. I know it's probably not possible to figure out a way to stretch these guys out just for the entertainment value.
Yeah,
Yamamoto
they
pitched
throw
2
too
complete
hard.
games, didn't he?
No,
the Dodgers?
he pitched a 9-inning game,
Oh.
and he pitched a little over 6 innings, and then he miraculously pitched almost 3.
Effectively.
But didn't he
effectively.
pitch? No, I mean in the playoffs he
in the
pitched
playoffs, yes.
2 full
He
complete
did.
games.
And
which-
Gosman went 6 or 7. But
first
I
time
know
in
what
like
Paul's saying.
30
There was-
years or something.
Yeah, and
like that.
Yamamoto outpitched Gosman, who pitched pretty well.
Yeah, but we're talking for the most part
Right,
about
but not-
6 innings,
oh
7
yeah,
innings.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, I know. what
We're
you're
not
saying.
talking about guys.
I-
Morris had a 10-inning complete game in the World
I mean, we
Series.
could do another whole show on what you said because I think we grew up with all these great pitching matchups where the starting pitchers on each team, like Baltimore had like 4 of them.
Well, that was the story going
Right.
into the game. Who's
Who's the starting pitcher?
Now,
Yeah.
let's get this generation's response, which I thought was very aptly put by Garrett Crochet when I don't know if they were talking about Koufax with him or somebody with him, and goes, "How hard did he throw?" I don't know if I could do that throwing this hard. That's the key right there.
Well, it's interesting. I've always thought that, the big difference is clearly that they throw so much harder.
Right.
And it's not to be forgotten that the one guy who probably threw at modern velocity, Koufax, retired when he was 30.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Right? I mean,
Right.
he blew out his elbow.
Yeah.
Was in
Yeah,
agony.
good
All right,
point.
any final thoughts?
Yeah, I just want to say it's great to be back. I appreciate everybody that watches and listens, and please tell your friends about us if you like the show. We love talking about Boston sports, and just happy to see you guys back here in the
Absolutely.
studio. Our producer, Evan,
Yes.
is
Big
awesome
thank you
guy,
to-
and thank you to him. And just Great to be back.
Big thank you to Evan and Westwood Media Center, their leader, Melinda, for getting us back here, getting a new studio, getting us back on here. Catch us on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube.
Well said, guys. Before we go, I have a final thought.
Well, that's shocking.
I just want to say that we watched this World Series with the LA Dodgers, who now have won 3 titles in 6 years, who have a superb team, whose owner has spent a ton of money on this team.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And let me tell you some of the viewership. Game 7, 27 million.
Mm-hmm.
31 million in the 11th inning. That is not counting Canada and not counting
And that's after midnight.
Japan. Yeah. Okay. So, my message and my final thought is directed at a gentleman that I think has done a phenomenal job, except for this, is Adam Silver. Okay? Adam, we all know the Los Angeles Dodgers would not be possible in your NBA. This team would have been broken up or people wouldn't have signed because of the second apron. Instead, and I defy you to find 10 people who like the NBA more than me, okay? And Silva did a phenomenal job, has done a great job. He came in, he had to face the Donald Sterling thing, and he handled it, which was amazing in a short period of time. But what we've experienced with the Boston Celtics now, is this really good for the league? I know this is Boston Sports Nuts, but you had a team. They didn't win last year. They got beat in the second round. Oh, it was the first round. I can't remember. Second round. They got beat in the second round. Okay? Guys get hurt left and right in the NBA now. It's like the NFL. And yet, an owner, 2 owners really, who's willing to spend a lot of money for a tremendous fan base, has had their team ripped apart, and God knows what's going to happen to it. And it's one of your 2 marquee franchises. Why is this good for the NBA? The Dodgers are good for baseball. They challenge the Yankees. They challenge the Mets. They're challenging John Henry. Do something this offseason. You got to beat them. Excuse me. And yes, I know it's the Celtics, and that's why I'm upset.
Right.
But, man, 31 million. And as big a fan as I am in the NBA games don't get anywhere near that.
Game 7 of the NBA Finals last spring, 17 million.
There you go.
Yep,
14 less.
Right.
Get rid of this second apron. And with that, Ken, anybody?
That's it, Jim.
That's it for Boston Sports Nuts. What these guys said about coming back, I won't repeat it, but I agree with all of it. And we'll see you next time on another edition of Boston Sports Nuts.
Thank you for watching Boston Sports Nuts. You can find all of our episodes available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. For more information, go to westwoodmediacenter.tv or follow Boston Sports Nuts on Facebook, Instagram, and X.